Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog, but we're not in a Mach-E today. We're in something far more expensive and I'll say a bit more exciting. It is a Audi RS e-tron GT. So
let's go.
We are excited, or I'm excited. I've been looking forward to driving this. This is starts at 140,000. I think this one has even some upgrades, so it's probably up there. It's an expensive car, fast car, fun car, and just, very, very nice engineering. I'm excited to get in this and just try it out on some streets.
I'm super intimidated because I gotta be honest, this is close to what my house cost, which is a little while ago for sure, but this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I've never been inside something like this, so I'm excited and scared.
We're gonna give you our impressions as somebody that doesn't drive Porsches and Audis that much. We've test driven an Audi. So this will be our first impressions and just, how it is.
Yeah.
So let's go.
He already said he loves something. What did you say?
I love the red seat belts. It's a lot of fun. And then, the steering wheel, it's like a suede. So I'm excited by that. We'll let this Model Y figure out what they're doing.
From the moment we got in this vehicle, it is definitely very plush. It feels super planted on the ground. Weirdly, you can feel that even as a passenger. And Patrick just mentioned something which I think is totally spot on. The Mach-E GT seats are actually more comfortable. Yeah. I agree. Like, these are very firm. It's a firm back seat.
Yeah.
So.
This is definitely, everything about this car is performance. I don't think I would want to take this on a long road trip, to be honest. But it feels like everything is just geared toward performance. And this, you feel very low ground hugging.
Yeah, you really feel that. And now he's going on the highway. Oh my goodness.
Holy crap.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've never experienced anything like that.
The Audi RS e-tron GT has up to 637 horsepower. It's also fast charging, so it's just like the Taycan, super great on charging. 5% to 80% in about 22 and a half minutes. It also has about 232 miles of range, which I would expect it to probably exceed that. Porsche Taycan is known for exceeding the estimated range, and I would imagine this is the exact same. It's built on the same chassis. So I expect some great numbers out of that. But, for having a lot of fun, you can burn through a lot of that range very quickly if you're not careful. You can feel that it knows like when you're just accelerating versus like I'm trying to really step on it. So it's really interesting.
Oh my God, I've never in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, that's very quick. It feels very sporty no matter what you're doing in this car. It's like even just driving on the freeway, like everything is very agile. Like I'm barely touching the steering wheel and it wants to move. Barely tap the accelerator and it wants to go, and you got to be very careful. Of course, I'm in dynamic mode. I might switch it back. Let's do comfort mode. Yeah, that feels a bit better, but it's still like there's just so much power in this car. It's a lot of fun. I couldn't imagine just driving day to day with this.
And I know you said you wouldn't road trip with this, but actually, now that you're cruising on the highway, this feels really comfortable. If you don't mind a firm seat, this is really luxe.
Yeah, I've already, I can sort of take that back. I get it. one of the first cars I've been in that's like intimidating to drive. And I don't say that in a bad way. Part of it is just me getting used to things in any new car. But this one, it's like it's a dangerous amount of power if you're not being careful. This is a fun car to drive though, and we're not even taking it on twisty roads. Apparently that road is known for people ripping it up, and today the cops are out, so we're not going to go do that because this car can get us into a lot of trouble. Steering wheel feels very good in your hands, very soft material, very responsive handling. So like any little movement, like this thing just wants to move, but it feels so flat, so connected. Hey, there's an Audi dealer.
Should we go get one?
Yeah, can we just pick one up? We drove a e-tron Sportback, and it had a lot of the same feel as far as the Audi screens and the haptic feedback within the screen. So it feels very familiar that way. The software is fairly responsive, very well organized. Don't beat me off the line. Good grief. And you can feel the traction control working to keep the car going forward very quickly. So it's like it's ready to roll.
I find it difficult to stop thinking about the cost of this car, but you certainly get what you pay for. Now, any other vehicle in the 40,000 range is still going to get you a place with power and comfort, but this is, I mean, it's it's very impressive. Even as a passenger, you can feel the car gripping the ground.
Yeah.
And this has a really wide wheelbase. It's like it's planted and it's not going anywhere. I'm quite sure that you could rip this up mountain curves and have a great time, which is not my idea of a great time, but I know a lot of people like that, including Patrick, which he used to do in his Subaru WRX. So if that is your driving style, you will probably have an absolute blast in this.
Yeah.
It's disconcerting how powerful it is, especially not being the driver and not knowing when to expect it. At no point can you be comfortable, but I know that we're documenting this and sharing this, and in normal daily life, no one's gonna access that power like that all the time. But if you need to get out of a bad situation on the road or get on an on-ramp or overtake someone at 70 miles an hour, the power is there for you. No question.
Yeah, very much.
In all honesty, the cabin looks quite traditional and quite familiar, but modernized. I know we're familiar with that dash screen from the Sportback, and I'm assuming that that's as customizable as the Sportback's was, right?
Yeah. I can switch to view. I forget how to switch it.
We'll check that out when Patrick isn't driving. But yeah, it doesn't have the biggest screens, the biggest tech visibility stuff.
I remember how to switch it. It's just the arrows. So, I can have the date and time if I care about that.
The date and time.
Radio. The map in front is sort of interesting.
Can we switch to not have satellite view? Because that's quite...
yeah, I think so.
I don't know, visually busy.
I won't try to do that while I'm driving.
No. But yeah, so that part's the same as the Audi e-tron Sportback that we drove, and we'll link that video.
If you guys can see the heads-up display, I'm not a fan of heads-up displays generally. This one is very good, but I still find it distracting that it's sitting out way over in front of the hood, actually past the hood. But just a quick note on that.
It's so weird because I can't see anything.
You can't see it at all?
Nope, not a bit.
You can definitely see it here.
You can see it on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But I'm not a big fan of heads-up display, but that's one of those things where people think everybody, that it's a high-end option. Everybody considers it sort of like, it has a heads-up display. I'd rather just have glance down. But anyways.
I'm assuming you can disable it.
Yeah.
And you certainly have enough information at your disposal in this vehicle that if you disable the heads-up display, it's no big deal. What is it displaying?
So there's the heads-up display, 30 miles per hour, speed limit, 0 miles per hour.
I don't know. I kind of think that's interesting because it's easy not to pay attention to the speed limit. But I guess you've got it on the dash, so no, it's redundant. It's redundant. If it's distracting, disable it. I think it's really interesting that there are so many manual, tangible features here. The air is directed manually. The hazard lights are manual. And when I say manual, I mean an actual button. There's a start stop. This is stuff that I miss in cars, and I really like this. Even the shifter here. Oh, there's audio control. That's nice. That's nice. And that's there for the passenger too,
Yeah,
I'd assume.
because it's on the steering wheel, but you have your
and
own.
I get one as well. And even opening this cubby here is done with a little trigger release button. That's interesting. I think that's very interesting that they chose to do that. It's cool that they're not departing so much from technology that makes things quite simple sometimes. As far as finishes go, there's a lot of this really weird suede, which I'm not a huge fan of. So the suede is in places that you're not going to touch, except the steering wheel. So that's weird. It's weird.
And I'm resting my arm here.
You
where
are
there's
resting
a
your
lot
arm
of
there?
Suede. Here
So
is not suede.
Odd. Yeah, and we'll show you everywhere, but it's odd. But the carbon fiber dash is absolutely gorgeous. There's sort of a carbon fiber recess in the door, which is phenomenal. The finishes are great. The suede is just a weird choice, but the stitching, I assume, matches whatever color vehicle you get. There's the red stitching that matches the gorgeous red on the outside. And the fact that you can actually see the hood because it's got that big old schnoz is really nice. And it really affects the design on the inside with the matching seat belts, which I also like too. So that's really cohesive. I like that a lot. Interestingly, the carbon fiber finish that's on the inside is also present on the outside, and I can see it on the back of the mirrors. So we're going to check that out as well. But I love when finishes and features are consistent on the outside and the inside, and it makes the whole thing come together.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things about Audi is the details on the level of this car. When you get up to the level of this car, they make sure those little things match, and that the extra little bit is one of the reasons why it costs so much.
So what's the verdict? Should we trade in the Mach-E and then get this, or should we get another Mach-E for the price?
We can get almost 3 Mach-Es for this.
That's crazy. We'll buy a Mach-E for all our friends and family.
Okay, our short drive in this car is done. This is a fun car. I don't think it's that practical. I would not necessarily want to spend my money on this unless I won the lottery or something like that. But there's a lot of fun stuff about this. There's a lot of stuff that's not practical. Like we were just talking about the rear seats. It seats 5, but the 5th person is going to be absolutely miserable.
Yeah, it looks pretty uncomfortable. So 4 people would definitely be comfortable in this vehicle. I don't think that at any point I would want to be this cavalier with money. This vehicle is just, it's super expensive. It really is. And it feels great, but I don't know if it feels 3 times the Mach-E great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you start putting in those type of numbers. And I mean, any spending is that way. I don't think I would necessarily ever go for this unless I won the lottery, like I said. So, But it's definitely fun. It's a beautiful car inside and out, and I'm glad we got the opportunity to play around with it.
Yeah.
I could go for driving it more. I wouldn't mind if we get some chance after we hit some of the other cars that we're doing today. But yeah, it's been fun, but not for me.
Yeah, it's not even a question. I don't feel enticed by this kind of opulence. but it is a fantastically engineered vehicle. There's some design features that are truly wonderful. The amount of angles that they include in the construction of this show that it is considering the engineering aspect of it as well as the aesthetic, which is something I always like to see. There are grab bars, which are great. The pull downs for the mirrors look great. Everything about it is ergonomic and considered, even though it is very much a playful sort of sports car kind of thing.
Yeah, very nice.
So you can tell that kudos in that regard. I love some of the features, but a third of the price for the Mach-E, I stick there. Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Is this something that you would go for? Would you have to be a millionaire before you decided to do something like this? Or is this your dream car and you're working for it and you're going to like imagine it happening and you're going to make it happen?
Manifest. Make that vision
Manifest.
board. Is this imagine that? Is this on your vision board, basically?
So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs up. Reverse psychology. I don't know. Anyways, please subscribe. Stick around for lots more EV content. Of course, a lot more Mach-E content. Maybe we'll be upgrading to a G2. Who knows? I don't know.
He's wishing. But remember that whatever you drive, even if it's a Mach-E, even if it's a used vehicle, even if it's an Audi, enjoy the ride. Bye.
Bye.